Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to The Fool's Apprentice. So today is hashtag Saturdays. So today's hashtag comes from Tarot in Magic, and she actually commented on one of my videos and suggested this tag. However, she created the tag on her channel, and on there, it shows that she actually tagged me, but I never got the tag. So I don't know how that works when you tag someone. So that's not something else I'm going to have to look up. There's always something to learn. I've been doing this for over a year and I'm still learning a lot of stuff. And her tag is hashtag letsbetarotfriends. Now, when her video first started, she said, because I don't have any friends. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And she clarifies, I don't have any tarot friends. Obviously, I have friends, but I don't have any tarot friends that, are interested in the tarot, that understand what you're talking about. And I was like, I get you, girl. I totally understand. That's why I'm doing like my tarot chats because I don't have anybody, and those actually give me the opportunity to do that. So I'm really excited to do this one. Today, I'm not going to be flipping the camera over because a lot of them are just questions that I get to talk to and speak to you directly. But I do have some decks out that I'm going to be showing and some cards because of the questions that she has. Now, I didn't rewrite all the questions. I have them on my phone, so I'll be looking down on my phone. And let's see what kinds of questions she has for us. All right. So, what type of art are you looking for in a deck? And that is actually a very interesting question. And I had to sit and think, like, what kind of artwork am I looking for? I think the only thing that I'm not looking for, generally speaking, are AI decks. There's some really beautiful ones out there, but I don't seek those out. And I don't necessarily have a style of artwork that I actually like specifically look for, an art style. I just look at the art, and if it makes me feel a certain kind of way that draws me to it, then that's the kind of deck I pick. So I don't really have an art style for me. It's really about and if you look at my collection, it's just there's not a real theme that goes through them that I've been able to identify when it comes to the type of artwork that I like. What do you search for in a deck? So there are a few things that I do search for, but I think it's really kind of organic. And not until she asked this question did I start thinking about like what kinds of things do my decks have in common. Um, the ones that really draw me in the most are decks that use color and light in a very, very interesting and beautiful way. There are certain color palettes that I'm really, really drawn to, and you've heard me talk about this in some of my walkthroughs. I also really love the way kind of light can be used, and I will tell you, the Boheman Gothic is one of the best decks that I own that really uses light as part of the artwork that I am just really like blown away by. Um, but when it's all said and done, I think the thing that I look for most is um, how the deck makes me feel when I look at the artwork. That's really what draws me to a deck. And if I feel some kind of connection, or I feel moved, or it makes me feel excited or warm on the inside, or something that really gets me like drawn to it, that's really what I tend to look for in a deck. What deck are you most intrigued by right now, and why? Okay, the deck I am totally intrigued by right now, and it's a new deck in my collection, is the Spoiler Tarot. Now, many of y'all saw my video. Did I get what I paid worth? Did I get my what did I well it's my own video. Did I get what I paid for? And I'm going to tell you, I got a lot more. I really, really love this deck. This deck is just stunning. And I don't know if I've had a deck that has intrigued me as much as this deck. I find the colors and the collage style and the images to be, I don't know, very piercing. They really, really draw me in. And for some reason, this deck I feel real comfortable with in the sense of how it reads for me and how it speaks to me. I know that's very vague, but there's just something about this deck that I really, really am drawn to. And I'm going to speak about this deck a little bit more as well, as I love this Three of Pentacles. I just love the colors. I just like the image. It's just, she did an amazing, amazing job. Like this card, it's okay. But the, the image is really interesting and I can still read a lot in it. Like, look at this one. Isn't that beautiful? Like, that's a really, really interesting card. I haven't pulled this one yet. I will say that I'm really surprised with how difficult this deck can shuffle. It's a difficult deck to shuffle, but I figure out how to do it, and it's because the cards are so thick and stiff. Um, but they ain't stopping me from using it. So the next question is, okay, I actually did a tarot chat earlier today that's not going to be posted for about 3 or 4 weeks. And this came up. Is there a card in the deck that you always check out first and why? And I do. It is the Five of Pentacles. This is the one card I always come to. And something came up. Tara is who I did the chat with. And she asked me why, and I've answered this question a couple of times, but I think it was the first time I really kind of opened up and really talked about why, and I got a little vulnerable. Um, and I was in the moment talking about it, and right afterwards I was like, oh, I might have to edit that out. But I'm like, no, no, that's who I am. That's why I love the card. So this card, the reason I'm really drawn to this card reminds me of my childhood with me and my mom. And my childhood was a really rough one. And when I look at this card, it just brings all these warm feelings. I don't feel like I have a lot of memories from my childhood, but I do have, when I think of my childhood, I have these emotions that come up, especially with this card. You know, it's this thing of struggle and resiliency and trudging along and really just working to take that next step and always believing that there's something just right around the corner. And I have come so far in my life that I can look back at this with memories of how wonderful my mom was in taking care of me and my siblings, and how even though it was really, really hard, so hard. But the thing is, as a child, you don't know it's hard until after, like later on, right? Because you don't know any better. But my mom did. And what I remember most is not the struggle, but the love that my mom had for us and how hard she worked to make sure that we were taken care of and that we had everything that she could give us for us to be okay. That was, that's why this card means so much. Um, and today I get to return the favor and make sure that my mom's taken care of. So me and my siblings, we do what we can to make sure that she needs for nothing, which is an absolute blessing. Um, the next question is there one card in a deck you really don't like? Would you want to miss out on it? Not really clear in the second part, but a card I really don't like. There's two of them, but if I had to pick one, it is the Sun card. Um, One, the little Nikki kid is and on a lot of decks is just really creepy. That just really bothers me. And I don't like sunflowers. I don't know. I don't have a real like reason. I don't have no trauma around sunflowers. I don't have a broken heart over a sunflower. I don't have any negative memory over a sunflower. I just think they're ugly. I think they're like a weed that is a flower and it's just ugly. I think sunflowers are ugly. That big brown thing in the middle with the ugly yellow kind of orangey petals. I just don't like the color. I don't like that stalk which is really thick and ugly and feels awful. I swear the sunflower never did anything for me or to me. But yeah, yeah. But there are some decks that actually have a sun card that I really, really do like. And then the other one I don't really like is the Eight of Wands. I'm like, can we say yawn with a capital AAWN? Yawn. I mean, and I just hate it when creators just don't do something with it. They're just like, oh, Eight of Wands, you know. But I do think they are important in the tarot, so I wouldn't want them out because they do play, I think, an integral, a vital role in readings. I do. So for that reason, they'll have to stay. Now, the next question is similar. What is your favorite and least favorite card? My least favorite is the Sun card for sure. And then, but my favorite, I would say, is I don't really have a favorite. I do have cards from different decks that I really like, depending on the card, like the Hermit card and the Boheman Gothic. I mentioned that one again because it's just in the forefront of my mind. But the Two of Cups, I think, is a really sweet card. I really like it. There's just all this newness to it, and I love it when a creator adds, you know, two women or two men in the Two of Cups. I think it's, really, really thinking about people in our community that use tarot. But it just feels like a very sweet card. So I would say the Two of Cups. Um, so the next question is, what do people close to you feel about tarot and you doing tarot? They don't really think anything about it at all. I think some people are intrigued by it. Other people could care less. Most people could care less. My brother is like, "Oh my God, you got all these decks. What do you need these decks for?" And I'm like, "Because I like them and I want them, and that's it." And then he's like, "Another deck," and I'm like, "Oh my God." So then I had to go. Well, they're an investment, into my mental health. They're an investment into the joy and happiness that they bring me in my life. And then some of these decks are going to be worth a lot of money, and some of them are worth a lot of money. And so he's like, oh, okay. So I don't have a single person, I think, in my life that's like, ooh, tarot decks. Let's chat about it. Nope, not a one. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that can relate to that. Uh, how do you feel about the esoteric stuff in tarot? Frankly, I don't. I'm still trying to learn the tarot. That is way beyond me. I'm not even approaching it. I'm not. If it's in the deck, in the card, it's just there as decoration until maybe one day I'll be interested in it. So I don't have any feelings towards or against it. Next question, Rider Waite Smith, Thoth, Marseille, and why? I've mentioned this before. I like the Rider Waite Smith. Frankly, it was the first one that I was introduced to. But I do like the imagery. I like that you can, you know, see a story within the imagery. It just really helps in learning the tarot, I think. Um, and I think images really do say a lot. And so for that reason, Rider-Waite-Smith. And also, there are a lot of decks that are Rider-Waite-Smith um, clones and based on Rider-Waite-Smith. So there's that's another reason because I can actually buy a lot more decks. Like I need more decks. What are your thoughts on cardstock? I don't. I thought I really didn't have an opinion on that, but I will say that there are cardstocks that I really do like the Mike Wilson, no, the Mike Wilcox Oracle and Tarot deck. Right now is my favorite cardstock. It shuffles like a dream. Oh my god! But then the spoiler tarots is so hard to shuffle. Um, and then the Mio M's is horrible cardstock. But as long as I can use it and it keeps its shape and it'll be around for a while, I'm not necessarily too particular, but there are two that I think I'm adverse to. One is decks that are super slippery. Oh my God. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. It frustrates me. So I've returned some decks because of that alone. And then decks that feel cheap and that aren't going to hold its shape, that don't hold its shape, that bend, and then like the Mio M's. Yeah. And then you want to charge me premium for that cardstock? Okay. Enough said. Um, Bags or boxes? Oh my God, I was going to bring some bags out. I have some beautiful bags. And, ah, of course, drama. Ugh. That was very dramatic. So I have some really beautiful bags. Like, look at this material. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so beautiful. And I try to match my tarot deck to uh, and so look at this. I'm gonna hold it sideways because I'm not, but look how beautifully this matches. Look at that. I love the way this matches. It's just beautiful, right? Very elegant deck. I don't have the box, so I don't remember what the name of this one is. Oh, I have the guidebook, right? Do I not have the guidebook with it? I do. It is the um, Tarochi Tarot by Mr. Freiborg. This is a beautiful deck. I mean, it's lovely. I've only used it a few times. But it's a pip deck, and I'm not at that place yet. But I love the deck so much, and it's an indie deck. And my concern was that one day it would not they wouldn't reproduce it, and I'd be stuck not having it. So I got it because I just love it that much. But the problem with bags is I am not Lisa Papez. I can't have 500 bags and know what deck's in it. I have maybe 5 decks, and I'm like, I wonder what's in that bag. Like I didn't know what was in this bag, and it's been there all this time. So it has to be a box, and I like the boxes. I like because then I can see what deck it is. So I'm a box guy, even though I really do like the bags. They're beautiful. And the next one is how did you learn tarot or get into it? I've mentioned this one before as well. I honestly don't remember. I do know that it was Tarot Tube. Uh, Katie Flowers came up, and that's the earliest memory I have. And from then on, I was off to the races. And I've taken some classes. I've got books. Talk to other people. I've taken, you know, I think I haven't done anything different than anybody else when it comes to like studying. Um, I need to be better about it. I'm not perfect. I don't do it as often as I need to do. So, I'm a lazy student. Okay. Best news in tarot world you heard lately. Well, let me tell you. When I heard Baba Studios was reproducing the Tarot Prague, whoa, I was stoked. I was able to get me two copies, one as a backup. And so that was like huge news for me. But even bigger was when Baba Studios announced that they had 30 um, of the mythical creatures tarot. I'm sorry, of the mythical creatures tarot. And so that was huge news, I think, for everybody that was interested in that deck. So those have been the big ones. And then another one is the Blood Moon Tarot. It's going to get reprinted. That was big news. I think that's a big news for a lot of people who are interested in getting that deck that missed out the first time. And so those are kind of the big ones. Oh, blood blood what is it? I have it written down. Bloodstone and Bloodstone Earth Flesh Tarot going mass market is another big one that is really exciting for a lot of us. So those are the ones that have lately in the last several months been big for me. How many decks are on your to get less list? I have about 10 to 15, I'd say, that I'm really seriously considering getting. A few of them are the Edinburgh Tarot that just came out, which looks really interesting. There is a version of the Lord of the Rings Tarot that I really like that's on Etsy. The Mushroom Oracle that's been out for a while that I really like. Book of the Dead Oracle has been out for a while, but gosh, getting it shipped from overseas. But they're all on hold because I'm trying not to just buy them to buy them. And I feel that these decks are going to be around a while, so I'm in no rush to get them. And then I have several others as well. So that's it. I don't really have any pressing unicorn decks because 2023 was a amazing year for me regarding that. So I don't have anything like if it came up, I got to get it right then and there. Um, if you could only keep three decks, which ones would you choose? So I did this similarly last year about the 5 tarot decks, I would say from a fire. I made a hashtag of that one if you want to go back and look at that one. Um, but it's decks have changed since then. I've had other decks come up. And so it has come to the spoiler tarot. Definitely's got to go with me. And I have been so intrigued and loving how it pairs with the when Olga speaks. There's no way I could not have when Olga speaks if I'm taking the spoiler tarot. And I really like the keywords and the images in this oracle. This is right now my number one oracle deck that I have. I am obsessed with it. I love it. I like this card stock. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of card stock she has for the Kickstarter, which she contacted me and let me know that she is going to have one grad. She's just in the middle of grad school. It's if anybody's been in grad school, it's crazy. There isn't a lot of time for other stuff, and frankly, your brain is really really tired, and so to have to hyper focus on creating a deck, it's a lot, I think. So this is another one that would definitely go. And then I had to think like, do I take a Rider Waite Smith clone? What do I do? What do I get? And finally, I was just like, I have to take the Boheman Gothic. That's why it's been on my mind because this was coming up. I just have to. There's no way I cannot not take this deck. I absolutely love this deck. this deck is always going to be in my collection. In fact, I got the mini. I can't believe I got the mini, but I got the mini. I got the um, limited edition from this most recent publication. And I got backups of the standard and limited edition. So this is a deck that is going to stay with me. This is, God, this deck, by far from any other deck that I have, uses light so well and so expertly that I don't think there's another deck for me that comes anywhere close in how they use light in this deck. I mean, the dark, the gray, the bright white. I mean, it's just like the Hermit card. Oh, is amazing when it comes to using the light. Look at the light that comes from that window. That's amazing. Like the way they use light there. And then there's a couple of other. Oh gosh, look at this. That lamp looks like it's really on. That's amazing. And there is one more. I think it's the fortune teller. I think that the card is called. That one I love in the way that it really draws your eye. Oh, here's another one. Okay, remember I hate the sun. I love this sun. Look at the use of light in this sun. That's amazing. And I'm gonna say that's amazing all the time when it comes to this deck. But definitely, this one would go with me. I don't know why I paused and thought, oh, would it really be this one? Should I get it right away? No, I'm not going to get it right away. I'm going to take this one with me. Oh, here's another one that uses light really well. So yeah, I don't know why I couldn't find the other card. Let me look again. I don't know about you, but all of a sudden you're looking for a card and you've gone through the whole deck. You're like, uh-oh, did I lose it? I didn't. The Wheel of Fortune, not the fortune teller. Look at that light, that use of light. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. So yeah, there's that. So let's see what the next question is. How does knowing tarot influence your everyday? Well, I don't know if it, like knowing the tarot. I think using the tarot really influences my day because I use it as a spiritual practice mainly, but I do use it when I'm in a quandary, or when I feel I need some guidance from something bigger to kind of get my mind to kind of focus on what needs to occur. So like if I have a meeting and let's say it's going to be with an employee that I need to have a discussion with, I ask the deck, to help me kind of like, what do I need to focus on? What's the main points I need to really discuss? What do I really need to do? And I've used that a couple of times and it's helped. Or how do I handle this situation with a family member? Things like that. So that way it helps. And it just enriches my life. It makes me happier when I think of it. I enjoy playing with them. I enjoy using them, journaling about them, doing this channel. So it's made a significant impact in my life, more than I ever thought it would, to be honest. Next question is, if you could turn back the time, would you have learned tarot another way? I think I would. I think I would have been more strategic and more studious on how I would have started to learn the deck, really focus on not buying as many decks as I did right off the bat. I think I would have developed my guidebook much sooner, my own personal guidebook and tarot in general. But I'm okay with where I'm at. Yeah, I would. So there wouldn't be much difference, I don't think. I think my personality wouldn't have suited any other way other than I've done it. What are your thoughts on the Three of Swords, which is very interesting as well, because I was talking to another tarot tuber this morning, early this morning, on the Three of Swords. And uh, I asked her about her, because she was showing me a deck, and the Three of Swords came up, and it was a very interesting card. I don't remember the name of the deck, sorry. And so then I just asked her what she thought of the Three of Swords, because, the Three of Swords, the suit itself is of the mind, but the heart is of, emotions. And a lot of people read, the heart, the Three of Swords is heartache, and which I see. But for me, it's really more about, you know, a really, a really tough lesson learned that creates a heavy heart. Like, and what I said was like making a really bad financial decision, and now you're left, let's say broke, like having to consider bankruptcy, not knowing how to pay your bills, and that mental anguish, you know, or that heartache of making such a bad decision that it affects everybody, and feeling that regret and sadness and pain, I think. Um, and I think so, like mental anguish, I think is a really, really good description of the Three of Swords for me, because I really do believe it centers in the mind more than it does in the body. But that lesson learned that creates that mental discomfort is what leads to the emotional discomfort that the Three of Swords is associated with. So that's my thoughts on the Three of Swords. And I could actually go on with that as well. Uh, how many decks do you have right now? I haven't counted, so I'd say I have about 80, maybe 85, somewhere around there. I accumulated those mostly, I'd say, in the first 6 to 9 months. And then I had a push near the end of last year because of all the unicorn decks that came into play. But this year, my buying has gone down quite significantly. So about 80, 85. That's tarot and oracle decks combined. If you could befriend one person on TarotTube or in the TarotTube world, who would it be? There are a lot of very interesting people. And really, I would like to get to know as many of them as possible. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the series of Tarot Chat, because I get the opportunity to talk to people, and I've actually made some friends through those chats. In fact, like this morning, I was up at 6:30 in the morning, so I could talk to a tarot tuber who lives in England. And so really, I would like to meet as many people as possible. That there are people I'm drawn to, but there isn't just one person that I would like to get to know and be friendly with. So really, everybody and anybody, as many as possible. But I do know that not every I'll connect with everybody. Not everybody will connect with me. I mean, that's human nature, right? Um, what is your favorite part of the day to do tarot? For me, it's the first day in the morning. So generally, what happens is I get up, I drink a large glass of water, start making my coffee. I might wash my face, just kind of get my blood going. Then what I do is I come to my desk and I work with the decks that are already out that I've worked from the day before or have set up to start a new, studying with a new deck. And then I focus on the message for the day, whatever that the cards want to tell me. I don't necessarily always have a question. A lot of times it's like, what's the message of the day? What am I supposed to be looking for? How am I supposed to be guided? Whatever it is. And I throw the cards down, usually 2 to 3. I'm going to be expanding that in the next month, starting March, and see what comes up. And then that's the message. Then what I do is I arrange my cards. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm writing out my reading. I'm putting my cards on top with my pen. I take a picture. I go to Instagram. I post it. I write my reading out, and there it is. So if you want to know what my reading for the day is, it's on Instagram under the same name, The Fool's Apprentice. And so that's a really good practice for me. I don't generally do any other kind of readings throughout the day. Not that I don't from time to time, but it's usually in the morning because I find that it really sets my day up. And when I don't, my day feels off. It's like it's a way of meditating and being connected to my spirituality and just a moment to not to have to worry about what the day is going to bring. Just being very present is the best time for me is in the morning because the day hasn't gotten away from me as of yet. And then the last question is another confession. And I'm like, a confession. I have some I don't really want to share yet. But a confession is that um, I don't really have anything major because I'm pretty open and honest with everybody regarding tarot and my oracle decks. Um, I really don't have a confession. There is something that I will be disclosing later in another video that I think will be significant, but I don't have any. Oh, okay. Confession is that I've talked to other tarot tubers, either through video or chat or something, usually video or in person, face to face. And I find that not everybody piques my interest. Our personalities don't kind of mesh or click because we're just our energies are so very, very different, is one thing. Oh, I do have a confession. Wow. There was somebody that I saw through YouTube that I reached out to, and I had a preconceived idea of what this person was going to be like. Um, and they were completely different. My experience was a lot more positive than I expected it to be. I was very pleasantly surprised. So even, you know, I had an idea. I've judged a book by its cover. And again, I learned a lesson. So there you go. So actually, this was a cute little hashtag. Hashtag let's be tarot friends. Thank you very much, Tarot in Magic, for this tag. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool. I'm liking these. I didn't think I would like these where you answer questions compared to like the other ones, the hashtags where you use your cards a lot more. But until next time, my name is Benny and I am the Fool's Apprentice. Bye, guys.